Hi everyone, today we are going to share an interesting concept of call by value and call by reference. This is a concept where most of the newcomers gets confused. So we will try to explain it in a non-technical way first, and then we will follow it up with a specific code of C programming language where you can relate to it slightly better in terms of programming. Okay, so let's start with this layman perspective. For example, we have in this story, let's call it Maya. So Maya is hosting a party at her home for 8 people, and she has never hosted a party like that. And she has a supply of tomatoes and potatoes at her home. Now she gets confused what to do, and she actually calls up her aunt. She calls her aunt and tells her that she has a kg of tomato and a kg of potato, whether they would be sufficient to cook the meal for these 8 people. So her aunt does some calculations and reverts back with the with a statement saying yes, it is possible. As you can see in this particular transaction, nothing actually changed. She just got to know the number, and the tomato and potato remains the same. No quantity change. Nothing actually happened. She just got an answer based on the data. So it kind of we supplied the data or the information as a copy, and then it was simply used without changing the anything by the caller. Let's start now change the equation where Maya is unable to actually cook it herself and she wants her aunt to help. So she actually calls her aunt again and says if she can cook it for her. So what she does is she actually gives the tomatoes and potatoes to the aunt, where aunt actually starts cooking, and once after cooking, a limited supply of tomatoes and potatoes are left. So Maya is now left with smaller number of potatoes and smaller number of tomatoes, and now she has got a meal for the for her guests. As you can see, the data was supplied, and the aunt was having a capability. The person who was actually called, the person had the capability to change the data or the information that was supplied. So this is a key difference between the earlier call and this call. We call it call by reference, where the caller has the capability to change the data that is being passed, or the parameters being passed to it. Okay, so different languages have different syntax to support it. We are going to share this with an example in C programming language. So if you look at this piece of code, we are having this function called compare triplets. As you can see, we have a variable a count parameter that it receives, and there's another parameter which int star a, and this specific syntax star here we call it pointer. In C, to pass a reference, there's a mechanism called pointers. So we'll share what really is the difference here. And you see the person who is calling at the time of call, there's another interesting thing. This guy is having a ampersand sign before the variable name. So we'll, and here at the in the call you have the result count. Result count is having the integer star, which is integer pointer. You can see this, we have just to demonstrate, we have kind of mapped a memory, which is a count having a variable which is at address a01 having a value 3. Similarly, other variables where like a is an array of integers which is having 3 different values starting at a02, and b count another variable which is starting at a05, and so far and so forth. So if you see, then if when we are calling it, then what really happens is that the moment we say, the moment this function is called, let's here we saying compare triplets is called with a count. So what really happened is a count is a variable which actually got created at another location called, let's say, b01, and the value it got is actually a copy of the value that we had at a count. So if we change the value here, there's nothing going to happen. I mean, if we make any changes to a count, nothing is going to happen to this location. Okay, so that's what is called pass by value. So where the actually value is being copied during the call. And with the special syntax of integer star a, and as we are passing a, which is or b here, which is an array of integers, what we are really seeing is actually the address is being passed. So in the a, as the address of a02, which is like of variable a, which is being passed, you can see. So any change we do here, If at all we do make any changes, this change actually is going to happen at this starting at A02 address. Similarly, B count is a pass by value and B is passed by reference. You see the address being passed here of B, which is A06. On similar lines, we have another variable result count. Result count is having A09 address from the caller, and from where we are calling, it's actually the variable result count is at B05, and it is having address A09. Now what you can see is this variable that you see in the function definition, and from where it is being called, they are actually two different variables, although the names are same. So just please don't get confused. So once again, this actually points it to that location of A09. And as you see in the code below, where when we say star result count is equal to 2, what it really means is at this point of time we are setting up the address of star, which is my at this A09. So we are writing at value 2 at A09. So where it is showing unknown as of now, at A09 it would start showing, it would start actually holding 2. So this is this is actually passed by reference. I hope it is a bit clear now, and this would be helpful. So hope to see you again, and we'll be coming again and again with different concepts. And hope you liked it and it's useful. And if you like it, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. That's it for now. Thank you. Bye bye.